Alexandria's
one music station, Bay FM.
107.9.
After we do the intro, let's hit the just remind them about the SMS line that we call you.
Right, guys, welcome back to the Breakfast Show 107.9, the best breakfast show in the Bay. And if you don't believe me, it's true. That's PJ Powers, and Hotline was Jabulani. Before that, there was Lloyd Kele with Tonight. Good other one. And then it's obviously Tristan's Let Me Take a Selfie.
That song was awesome. We had the whole studio jamming. I bet you everyone in traffic as well was shaking their head and bopping.
So if there was a fender bender because of that song, you guys can sue Tristan, no problem. I will give you the contact
Isn't
details.
there like a board or something that protects me?
No. What, like a skunk board?
Just get to this board. Yes, like.
Okay, guys, like I have said many times before, we have got Honourable MP, Deputy Minister, Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams in the house.
Oh yeah, brother, we're here to rock it.
There we go, right? There we go. And you know what was the most awesomest thing for me is the fact that I said to her, okay, fine, how would you like me to announce you? And when I talk to you, how to talk. And you said?
I'm DJ Stells.
Yo, you gotta love that, man. You gotta love that. But ma'am, very warm welcome in the Breakfast Show. I was so happy when I heard you coming here. Because you picked the best show in Breakfast Show. You picked the best show, yeah. Don't worry. But
and I'm gonna have the best breakfast in the
guys, it was pretty strange because, like, when you know an official is coming and the bodyguards are rocking up and it's a nice car and everything, and you feel like you should have a suit and tie on. Right. And here I am in slip slops and a short pant.
But can I be very honest? When you start off, you automatically. I mean, there's still a level of respect. But when it got to that point, we were still saying, we have to behave and whatnot. And when the crew got here, they said, please don't behave. We're like, oh, thank you so much.
No, we can act normal.
Because we don't behave.
So you are now acting normal?
This is totally normal for us.
I'm worried that. My goodness.
I've actually got to say, I got an improv question. Are all the ministers as cool as you are, like down to earth, and, is it just normal business?
Of course, we are. Remember, we are the people that depend on others to get their jobs. Then you don't have a choice, even if you didn't want to, or by nature you're not. We represent the people, and therefore we must always be available and accessible to them.
Very true.
And guys, just coming back to that fact, being a community radio, this is your voice. So drop us a SMS on 34852 or email us at studio@bayfm.co.za. As you can hear, all your comments and questions are extremely welcome. We're going to take calls as well?
We will take calls. Guys, you can phone us 083-908-1079. I will repeat it. It's 083-908-1079. And please, guys, like we said as well, DJ Stells in the house, so
and
with sparkles.
And believe you me, darling, as from now onwards, probably by next week, we're gonna have a Twitter handle account, so that
awesome.
our listeners can tweet to us.
Please keep that up to date.
Can we have it?
That would be cool to have at Bay FM.
Oh my.
How much you just like
that.
a telephonic thing wherever you are in the country? Like, I'm just saying, like once a month, once a week.
She's really giving me goosebumps.
Well, not a week, a month probably, but believe you me, with Twitter we can do everything, and we're always accessible.
Deal. We've got this live
Our
on
people,
air. We hold this one down.
Data is far cheaper than that call. That 083 number that we must call. Hey, we don't have money here.
Right.
Taking care of the people. You heard it first.
Right, DJ Stells. But you're still a deputy minister. It feels so wrong to do this, right? But, you were here to unpack the State of the Nation address for 2015 and explain the benefits to us. Because, at the end of the day, when they talk in Parliament, it's still above my pay grade. So half the stuff I don't understand. So it's really nice.
I watched it and I didn't understand very much of it.
No,
either.
it's true because
it seemed like there was a lot of, we're not going to go there, but it seemed like there was a lot of extra stuff which we don't need, with the whole politics.
Yeah.
So, I think it's quite exciting. What can you tell us about
but can I ask, in a nutshell, what is your view on the SONA by the President?
Well, firstly, let me just highlight one thing, that the State of the Nation address that you referred to as the SONA is an annual event where the presidents take podium to account to the country and the world of the previous commitments that we made, but also at the same time give way forward. These are the plans for this year. Therefore, the president did that, and I will dwell much in terms of what his focus was in terms of the SONA. But most importantly, it is a platform that gives the citizen an opportunity to know that indeed, as they have committed to do so much, they've managed to do so much, or they did not in areas like A, B, C, or whatever areas that are there. Therefore, it's an important event, as I'm saying. Well, we can say it's an event because we always get dressed up,
Sure. It's like an Emmy Awards.
the red carpet, but most important is the message that comes from the president
Of
that
course.
people must pay attention to.
Of course. Well, it's still our country, right? You
Yes.
still have to listen to that, you know, at the end of the day.
Back.
I'm just going to say one thing, right? I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world because die in Chanam, ne? I'd nou gedans saam met 'n minister, my broer.
Yeah.
That's how I roll, right?
I can't wait to get some photos later
No,
for,
let's-
the
let's- let's
profile
put-
pic.
Listen,
Hey?
I'm going to say one thing, really, right? There's a really big misconstruction because you're so much fun. In Parliament, look, no, but it looks so stiff, you know, because it's professional.
You
I
know,
mean, it's
in
the house.
Parliament,
It's the house. I mean,
there
I
are
understand
rules
it.
of the house.
Yeah, but I
so
mean-
even if you want to be funny, you couldn't be because somebody's gonna raise an order and
But-
you've got to behave.
But I'm imagining in my head, right? Everybody's like, you know, hi there, ma'am, hi there, and that door closed behind you, and you're outside. You're like, chica, my baby, chica. It's awesome. I'm sorry, I'm loving this. I'm really loving this. But yeah, to go back to the thing that we're actually talking about, right?
But I think you must also enter that competition.
What
What do
competition?
they call it on TV? The ones of those people that dance, man.
No, there's
What
no
is
way.
it called?
We've actually
I've
just
seen
entered
the
him.
moves that you're giving us. Yeah, you took it down.
We've actually entered him into Mr. PE.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
we
great.
kind of forced him.
Yeah, they put it
And-
out, they put it out to the listeners
Okay.
to see how many likes we get on Facebook because of that post. Then we ended up counting at 182
Wow.
on Facebook. So I have to do it now. So it's okay. It's okay. But I don't mind. I'm game for everything. I really am game for everything. Okay, Trist, you got a question? Bro?
Yes. Can you give a brief overview of the sonar as was delivered by the president?
Oh yes, the first thing, let me first highlight to the listeners that the president did declare 2015 as the year of the Freedom Charter. That's the first thing. And the second thing you must also take into consideration is the fact that the president delivered his State of the Nation address 2015 after 25 years later, after Dada Nelson Mandela was released from prison. But most importantly, he focused on the crucial 9 points that we refer to as the 9-point plan. You will recall that everybody has been complaining about load shedding.
Yeah.
We want our electricity
Yeah, we get that
back
every day.
and all that. Others have been complaining about unemployment. The president did respond to
Yes.
those. And in his State of the Nation address, he made it a point that we come up with plans to resolve the energy challenge. I'm sure you have noticed that we have tried to work up in terms of stabilizing the energy-related institutions. As part of that, we agreed that we're going to focus on the energy mix so that we're able to say we're going to focus on gas and other alternatives because coal is expensive
Very.
indeed. But crucial to that, everybody has to eat. And therefore, we've got to revitalize the agriculture
Yes,
and
yes.
agro-processing to make it a point that people don't just go home, plant, and then sell, but the entire value chain. People must be beneficiaries of.
Of course,
Don't
definitely.
say in PE, what fruit do we have here that we're planting, that we're in charge
No,
of?
we've only got Branavan in
No,
PE.
we've got pineapples quite close.
Yeah.
You see,
in
you've got,
Bathurst,
you've got
yeah.
pineapple close, but who makes the pineapple juice? So it's the entire value
Oh, I
chain
see
that we're
what you
talking
mean,
about.
I see what
If
you
you know
mean.
that you're good in something, make it a point that you take it to the end, and therefore our people will be able to create jobs, and therefore will be reducing unemployment, at the same time addressing the poverty challenges that we have. Now, the Freedom Charter tells that we've got to make it a point that people share equally in the country's wealth.
Amen.
Now, if we're talking about that, we're talking about mineral resources that we have. It has been 21 years now by April actually will be finishing 21 years in terms of us being in the democratic government. How do we then make it a point that those minerals that are there are benefited by everybody?
Of course.
When I say everybody, I don't mean like you're going to have your own mine and all that.
I'd
But
love
through-
one though. If you
I
guys, if
know.
you guys are giving one away, I'd love a diamond mine. I'm just putting it out there.
Our
I'll go for coal.
platinum, our platinum,
Okay, I'll tell you what. We can go 50-50.
50-50, at least that I can live with. So what we're saying is that let people not just be workers or miners in the mines. Let us take the entire value chain again. Let people be part of ownership, because you get commitment. I'm sure you have realized in most of the companies whereby workers are owners, they are dedicated.
Of course.
They take interest in the company and they know that they will do everything
And
to
they don't
protect.
steal.
No, you don't,
They
because
you can't steal from
You can't
yourself.
steal from
That's
that.
the
That's
thing.
exactly it.
It's-
Yo.
it's-
But I don't
a very good
understand,
plan.
why do others steal from government? Because government belongs to the people.
True that.
I
True
was
that.
I actually just think in business, like small businesses, a lot of people do steal from
That's
other people, and I
true.
find that a lot of people that I know that when they offer like a partnership, they feel more comfortable because they know they're not going to steal from themselves, which is a great idea.
Yes, yeah, they protect it with everything
Yeah.
they have. Like they protect their girlfriends,
Ah!
husbands, wives.
Good point.
But the other crucial thing that the president focused on is encouraging private sector investment. If we are to help South Africa grow economically, we've got to make it a point that we invite the private sector to come on board and partner with government in terms of saying, how do we then make it a point that the national development plan that we're talking about becomes realized and a reality? And if it is to be realized, how do we then work together? You bring the resources that you have as the private sector. I bring what I have as the public sector representing government that side to make it a point that you benefit profit-wise as you want profit, but also I get to get my people being happy, my people being the voters on the ground. We have a responsibility to make their lives better. And the only way to do that is when we make it a point that we give them information and therefore we educate them. Hence, we have prioritized education as an apex priority in our country. But now, if we are talking of bringing investors, private investors, how do we then make it a point that the challenges that we're facing, for example, in the mining areas or the mines themselves, the loss of strikes and everything else that we have. We sat down as government and we agree that it's high time that we try to work out in terms of resolving workplace conflicts.
Yes, please.
We have a responsibility to protect our workers. We have a responsibility to make it a point that the working conditions are favorable to them, because they are the ones that do whatever that the boss at the end of the day must get that thick bank balance.
Of course.
Therefore, if you can't take care of the workers, how do you expect them to be productive?
Amen.
We are working on those policies, working with the Department of Labor, of course, through the President's call. But most importantly, how do we then make it a point that we unlock the potential of the SMEs and the cooperatives? We've seen recently there's lots of competition amongst our people.
Very, very, very.
Just one tender of 30,000 rands, you get 30 people responding to that tender. It tells you of the hunger for people to get access to the resources and everything.
true.
But most importantly, it shows the level of competition amongst our people. How do we make it a point that people are able to complement each other? Because even if you are an SMME or 3 SMMEs there, if you work together, it makes things easier for you in terms of the quality of the production that you're going to produce and the timing or the period of it. Because it cannot be equated to you working as an individual and myself working as an. If we come together, we know you are best in this, you are best in that, and I'm best in this.
Amen.
Therefore, we just work
I
together.
totally agree with
So
you.
we're encouraging that. Hence, the president has also established the SMME Development Department under Minister Zulu. Those are the things that we're saying we'll be focusing at. Of course, when I say we will be as government, I'm representing the president now.
Right.
So yeah, but the last one. The capacity of the state-owned entities. We've got to build capacity. We have seen the policies are good. I'm sure you'll agree with me. Lots of the policies that we've passed, everybody agrees with them. But the challenge that we face, it comes to when we are going to implement. How do we then make it a point that we build capacity in the state, including the state-owned entities, so that they respond positively to the policies that we have made, so that they can make a great impact in the people's lives. And we will be focusing on ICT. Remember, we're talking communication.
There we go.
We're inviting people to come and invest. How are they going to invest if we don't communicate?
True that.
Because, yes, ICT is crucial to that. Hence, we have pronounced on broadband and a sum of 1 billion allocated to it to make it a point that
Well
people
done.
have access to communication.
Yes, well, it's very important. What is a country without communication? It's nothing. Even business, you need to communicate, man.
Just something, sorry, because I actually feel comfortable asking the questions now since I know that you're also down to earth. We've had a lot of issues with SMEs, especially in the Port Elizabeth area, whereby they've actually been striking and damaging municipal government stuff. What type of response do we give to them, you know, kind of forcing government's hand? Because at the end of the day, like you're saying, government is trying to create something better. And if there's too many chiefs, you can't get the end goal. So how do we deal with unlawfulness that's actually happening with SMEs in let's just take it for that, them being a law unto their own?
Actually, anybody, not just the SMEs, anybody who breaks the law deserves to be punished.
Amen.
We cannot accept it. That as government is saying we're representing people and we are spending from their public pocket. If you are doing that, it means if we have given you a job or a tender, if you are a tenderpreneur, make it a point that you deliver on the expectations. Now, that is why we spoke about building capacity of the state, because you will find that at times, here in Port Elizabeth, you've got a factory that manufactures steel, for example. But then when the tender comes out, whether it's from the municipality or the department that is around here, the specification does not talk to what you have here. We've got to balance this thing. If we are talking of local economic development, we've got to look around ourselves first and see what is it that we can utilize from this area, because we've got to give an opportunity to those ones, and you help them in terms of understanding what is it that you want to achieve. That is why at all times we always say we must always make it a point that we share our vision with the people, so that it can become a common vision, because it is only when we understand where we want to go that we'll be able to know what is it that we need to do. But those that break the law, we can't be smiling and playing games with them.
Yeah,
They've got to be punished.
Pardon me, do you think that there would be some sort of like a punishment for them, if I can put it so easily output? You know, if you're actually going and they know that you're an SME, and for instance now you forcing something which isn't really your right to force, like almost like, you know, when you have a driver's license they take points off and stuff like that. Do you think we'll get to something where they can be held accountable?
At some point we'll have to do that, because as I said, it impacts on the delivery of services. Therefore, as we have established the Department of Monitoring and Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation in the presidency, we've got to monitor properly. The presidency is very clear. From national to local level, everybody that is getting paid or is getting his or her money from the public pocket has to account and obey the rules.
Of course.
Accounting and obeying the rules now is talking to us, making it a point that we reach those targets in the National Development Plan. They talk of quality service, they talk of better opportunities, they talk of educational skills, they talk of all of those things. Now, if you are going to hinder that progress that we want to make, why must we keep you on board? But
I want to hug you again just now.
as much as we're saying that, we are also saying, because we understand, because of our background, others have not been exposed to this. Therefore, we have a responsibility to empower you, work hand in hand with you. That's why we have sitters that train people. Therefore, if you know that you're an SMME in a specific area and you don't have the relevant skills of the area that you're operating in, go to the sitters, work with the municipality, the department. There's also now the SMME development department that will help you get the skill that we're talking about. That's why we introduce the BEE, for example, to say, let's partner with the big guys, and they must also make it a point that as they rise, they're lifting others up with them. It's not a matter of we are going to compete, but it's a matter of us trying to complement each other. And by doing that, we're transferring the skills, and therefore everybody will be happy.
You're so good. I like all those positive words, complimenting and raising everyone together.
That's brilliant, right?
Hey.
You gotta
I'm
love
sitting
it.
with the beard condones this message.
It
I'm sitting with
condones
the
DJ
biggest
Stells.
smile.
DJ Stells is condoned
Hey,
to save him completely, man.
with glitter.
Right? Oh, you gotta love it.
So there you guys hear it, you know, and please, SMS to 34852, I'll repeat that, it's 34852,
Yeah.
or email us at studio@bayfm.co.za. You can see this is a real open discussion.
Yes. Gooi rooi, man. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And you know, even with me, I'm in construction myself, and the SMM, yes, ma'am, that's it. You can't believe I build stuff, right?
That's why I'm looking at you like that.
Right. I'm not dirty yet. When I get on site, that's when the dust settles and stuff. But the SMME thing is really a big problem. And I loved what you said, Nana, because the fact of the matter is, if you don't have the skills, don't jump front of the line, because there's a guy that's been working his bum off for 5 years to get that skill. Give him the opportunity to do so. And I work with a lot of SMEs, and some of them, I promise you, I don't know why I say to them, okay, fine, listen, yeah, there's a contract sharing, they should do that with me, because they're so further than me, study that I go to him and say, listen, yeah, what should I do down there? And he goes, Dad, brilliant. And obviously I steal the idea for myself. But I mean, no, I'm just kidding. But it's brilliant, because the fact of the matter is they get that platform to work. And it's awesome. It really, really is awesome. But I think let's shoot to a song just to break the silence,
Just
right?
one more thing, sorry, before we go. Also, just taking from that conversation that criminals, like just in general, watch out. Because if you're doing something stupid, you're going to get caught.
We're
Right.
not going to let anyone undermine our democracy.
No, why not?
South Africans don't like to be messed with. Watch out.
Listen, that's why people in the rest of the world are like, hey, dude, watch out for that. The South Africans, because they rough. He says, okay, but some might say that the president's speech is full of empty promises and blah, 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 and you hear this way, media, everything. But will the lack of implementation and delivery, what can you say about that? I mean, I know that's like an hour speech in its own, right? But gooi.
Yeah, one thing that I know, when the president delivers his speech, as I made mention earlier, that he just does not just give an account of what happened in the previous year, but gives a way forward of the things that we're going to do in the current year.
Yeah.
Now, if he has said that, the Minister of Finance comes on board to say, as the president has committed to ABCD, this is the budget that we're allocating, to make it a point that what the president committed to is implemented. So you cannot say it's just an empty speech. I know for a fact that, as the president has announced, on the fact that we're going to roll out broadband, for example. 1 billion has been set aside. Regions or districts have been identified for the pilot projects. Work has been done. All the time, what we need to do as the people or as the listeners, we've got to make it a point that, as the president has made these commitments, we follow up with our local leadership.
Of course.
To say the president made mention of the fact that this is what is going to happen in Nelson Mandela, and how far is that, and what are the opportunities thereof for myself as a local citizen in the area that has been mentioned. Because if we don't follow that up, people, it's easy for them to get away with these things and not be able to do what they're expected to do. Remember, the president sits in Pretoria, in Cape Town. When he goes to parliament, he can't be everywhere to come and monitor. He runs the entire government there for the country. But we have people, provincial level, local level, who are there as government. But now, if the citizens are not taking ownership of whatever the president has made pronouncement on, then it means they are going to miss out on their benefits.
Of course.
Most importantly, as I mentioned earlier, is that government belongs to the people.
Yeah.
If government says we're spending 10 million on building a road, make it a point that that road is built properly. Want account from whoever that is responsible for that. Be able to expose whatever wrongs that are happening in that, because that's your money that is being spent, and that's your road. But if you're going to sit down and say it's a government thing, who's government? We are not government. We are government reps. We get voted into the system by the people. They put us there because they want us to temporarily hold not just the administration of the country, but its public purse. Now, if the people are not going to be the watchdogs of their own money, it means then they are betraying and selling out Tata Matiba's legacy, something that we cannot afford. Everybody has to take a responsibility and play his or her own part. You don't have to be a councillor to do that.
Of course.
You don't have to be a member of parliament, but as a responsible citizen. When Tata Mandela started this revolution with his counterparts, they were not government people. They were students. But they took a conscious decision that they want to be part of the solution, and therefore they will use the little knowledge that they have to make it a point that they fight whatever social or evils that were there. And indeed, today we're talking of a rainbow nation country.
Yes.
Today we're talking of a democratic South Africa. We cannot be able to reverse the gains that have been made. We cannot fight the battles that others have won. It's high time that we take action as the people of the country, especially you in the Bay. You've got lots of work to do.
Oh, yes. You know, there's two things before just, and I'd love to tell this to the people. I run a company as well. You make a lot of promises to yourself and to your company. Listen here, guys, we're going to do this and this and this and this and this in the year to come. You don't get that every year. I look back at the year and go, yes, I couldn't do that because of that. If we had that, we had that. So when they do the planning, people think it's set in stone. It has to be done, blah, 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 blah. We try to reach our goals, everybody in life. And if you don't, you take the next year and we go, okay, we're going to do it better this year. But people want to crucify the president and say, hey, you promised that, and you promised that. And I want to say, and I'm going to call this out, and I love that you said this, that if they say they're going to build a road from here to Cape Town and it's not built by the time, open up your mouth. Yes. Stop sitting in your living room complaining about it to your friends around a braai and saying, you know what, the president or the government or this. Stand up and make your voice heard so that we can actually say, listen here, guys, we got that road built. You're part of the government. It's our government. Correct?
It is only when we work together
that we
can be able to move South Africa forward.
Totally agree with that.
It's your responsibility, my responsibility, and our responsibility. Play
I'm loving
your
that.
part.
Sorry, I'm going to come to that now. What advice would you give to the average Joe on the street to actually stand up? How would they do that?
There's lots of platforms that we have. For example, if it's something that is related to a school, there's a school governing body that is there. But our mistake is that we don't want to get involved in the education of our children. We think it's the teacher's responsibility, forgetting that teachers are like any other. The workers here, you guys, you come to this building and work. You make Bay FM to be what it is. The teachers do the same because they are getting paid. Yeah. But the school belongs to the community. Therefore, for as long as they get involved in the different platforms, be it a school governing body, be it a hospital or clinic board, be it a ward committee, a street committee, anything that you can make your voice heard. Now, we have added this platform of communication, of community media. Utilize the space, engage with the locals. If they don't get your voice to be heard, you come here, you make noise. That's why we have these platforms. And when you make that noise, we are able, through our department, through the provincial offices and the district offices that we have of GCIS, to say, how do we then link you with government? We have a presidential hotline that people must go and utilize. We have also launched an app as the Department of Communications, the SA Gov app, online, to say, this is the information that we want to take to our people. Then if you read, if you can't listen to the radio, at least you must be able to read or watch it on TV. At least that's basic. Now we're trying to bring those platforms to everybody. Yeah. But if you just come to the radio station and listen to music only, that's the only thing. When news are read, when there are people who are there to give inputs, you're not there. How are you going to know what's happening in your own country?
Amen.
You can only be able to make an impact and play your part when you are informed. Ours is to make it a point that as we educate you, we inform you. As we inform you, we entertain you. That's why we have this lovely days.
You know the beautiful part is, I'm sorry, Bay FM's slogan is we entertain and we educate. And what is the third one you said now?
We inform.
And we inform.
Yes.
That is our...
I think that the people just need to understand now that there is an app available.
Yes,
and there is a hotline.
Yeah, we'll put it on the page.
Pardon me. And also, open your mouths. Go and speak to your community leaders. Go and speak to the leaders of your party which you support, and find the right platform to actually bring up the topics which are bothering you.
That's why you have the people in your wards. That's why they are there. So they're not there to drive around.
We'll actually start off. If there is something that's bothering you, I know that we were speaking about the water thing the other day on the radio. Someone actually went and looked at that in Outtakes. If there is something in your area, guys, please don't hesitate. Can we maybe find some links and put on the
we will do that. We will do that on the Facebook page.
Including our social network pages. Yes. We are there. If you're on Facebook, we are available on Facebook. If you're on Twitter,
everyone Facebook,
we are just there everywhere.
We'll share it.
We will share it, yes. We'll give it to you.
Cool.
Okay, sorry, last from my side, yes. Some might say that the president's speech is just talk, full of promises, but will lack on implement. Have we done this one? You're showing me 4.
Exactly.
How many community members contribute to the success of this State of the Nation's address? Which one have we done?
That one, you're right.
No, you ask. I don't want to ask anymore.
Somebody did not get his breakfast on time.
No, we don't get breakfast on the breakfast show. That's ironic.
You guys
right?
also showed me 4, right? You see, I got.
But it's 4 by me.
Dude, I got 2 pages.
Okay, so don't scale me then. But again, guys, how can community members contribute to the success of the State of the Nation address, particularly as SA? Will we be going to local government elections next year?
As I said previously, utilize the platforms that are there. Be on Twitter. We have a Twitter handle account, which is Government of the Republic of South Africa, Presidency. We've got from our side is the Department DOC, SA Government. We've got, of course, Minage as the Deputy Minister myself. I have my own @StellaRated. Wow, what a cool handle. Then on Facebook, you've got Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams. And then we also on Mixit as SA Gov, because remember, we've got to reach out to everybody.
Course, yes,
it doesn't matter whether you have a smartphone or not. Then we have the community radios and the papers that we have. Let's utilize that platform and make sure that we engage with government. But firstly, there is a ward councillor in your area. It doesn't matter which party one belongs to. A ward councillor is a government rep. If I voted for whoever and the one that I voted for did not win, but there's somebody who's being paid by government who represents everybody. We're a government that is in charge of everybody, irrespective of the political affiliation. Therefore, let's utilize. We don't have to fight when we do that. Because we are not happy, then we decide, we're fighting with the councillor, we decide to go and ban a library. That does not help our country. Remember, the rights that we're enjoying, they come with responsibilities. It is irresponsible to destroy government's property because we're having complaints or we're angry at somebody. Let's all work together and address the challenges that we face so that together we can build a better future and a better country.
Like you said just now, government is linked to yours. It's your money. So why break, for instance, a school, which is supporting your community? If you are having problems in that community with the school, take up the proper platform to actually address those things. Don't let it grow. Don't let the weed grow into something which you have no control about. Get hold of the ward councillors.
If you burn a library, it's like English people say, if you burn a library, right? If you cut your nose off, you spoil your own face.
Yes, that's true.
So don't do it. It doesn't make
There's no
sense.
other way to put it better than that.
By FM Breakfast Show. By
I'm
FM
coming here
Breakfast Show,
every day,
right? I'd love that, actually.
And send us your detail. We would love to get hold of the ward councillors for you and get them to contact you.
Yeah, but we've got the provincial office number, which we'll post on Facebook.
So
grab a pen, and then when we're done, we will give all that information to you guys. So grab a pen with you, and you can contact them, and then we can take it from there. But just
Gerrie, thanks for giving me your questionnaire now.
No worries, my brother.
What bearing and significance does the sonar have on the programs of the provincial and local sphere of government?
As we are one government in the country, others are just different arms to make sure that we're able to customize whatever that the national government has pronounced on, customize it based on your provincial needs and all that. But there is alignment in this country. Even the national government takes tune from the National Development Plan, which is a guiding document of everybody. These are the plans that we want to achieve in 2030, but because we do it annually, but through the 5-year plans that we commit to our people, then annually we say this is what we're going to do. Same applies to the provincial government. They have to look to what the president has pronounced at. The president has made pronouncement on A, B, C, D, and then they customize it to their province. Well, as the president has said, this is what we are going to do in response to what the president has said in our province. But of course, you cannot say, like, if you are in Northern Cape, you don't have a sea, and we're talking about blue ocean or the ocean economy. You say, we are going to make it a point that we give you fishing licenses. Hey, there's no sea in Northern Cape. That's why it's important for you to customize it according to your provincial characteristics. So that's what is expected of provinces and local government. Hence, we encourage our people to participate in the IDPs of the municipalities, because we don't participate in those platforms. The next thing, those that are there, they take decisions and say these are the plans that we will go ahead with, and therefore they allocate budget. The next thing, we come and demand a road that was never budgeted for, that was never even part of the IDP. But when we work together to say these are the priorities now, the president has spoken broadly in terms of what the country requires, the premier has spoken broadly in terms of what the province requires. But now here in Nelson Mandela Bay, this is how we are going to do it. Responding to those challenges that are there, looking into the financial constraints that you have or the existing budget that you have, and then say, we are going to have to partner with the private sector to realize the dreams and whatever that we have to do for the people of Nelson Mandela Bay.
Okay,
Therefore, get involved.
Get
Thank you
involved,
very
guys.
much.
Don't
Please
just sit
do.
at home.
Please do. No, but the thing is, it's like someone saying, yes, when can I ever win the lottery? And you look at them and you're like, do you play? No, I don't play the lottery. So why are you complaining about not winning the lottery?
Listen,
It's
I've been
exactly the
looking
same
for
thing.
3 days for that 21 million rand lotto card.
Dude, I don't even play lotto. I've been looking for it.
That's gambling.
No, it's not gambling. It's just inquiring wealth.
Oh my God, I can't believe you.
Wow.
But listen, thank you very much. But is there any last words from you, DJ Stells,
I've
Deputy
got
Minister?
one last question, but it's like a 30-second question.
All right, my dear. Must I wait for that 30-second question so that I
Do you
respond to
know
the question?
Julius Malema? And can you introduce me to him?
I know Julius Malema, yes. I have served with him in the National Working Committee of the
love
Youth
that
League. We
guy.
were both elected together.
What's he
He's
like?
now a member of parliament. He's fun. He's not quiet. He's fun.
No, we've noticed.
He
he's not
has
quiet.
his own approach to everything.
I love
of
him
course,
to bits.
as we have seen him, he says what he wants to say, whether he thinks about it or not, but he says what he wants to say. That's him.
But that's not always a bad
Do you
He's
thing.
think
a
you'd have a
fight. That's what I'm
conversation with
saying.
me if I'd met him? Or meet him
Of
one day?
course, he would.
Do
I'm
you think?
sure.
Do you ever think? And I'm throwing it out there. Do you ever think that we might be able to one day have a telephonic interview with him?
Yes, if you ask for him, yes, he would. I'm
I
sure.
would love that. I would
Remember,
love that.
I said we are public reps. It is our responsibility to engage with everybody that we
No,
have.
very true. But I mean,
I'm very
you-
serious. I think he's awesome.
Yeah,
I
love
think
it.
because he's causing change. He's making
Yeah.
people think about things which they weren't thinking about.
Listen here. You know the
That's
fi-
true, but at the same time, as much as we approach things in certain ways, it is always important to think about the consequences of what
Of
we
course,
say
of
and
course,
how
of
we
course.
go about
true
that.
story.
That's the crucial thing in
True story.
communication, by the way. Your message that you're giving out, make it a point that you don't offend anyone. The message must reach the target in a desired way. South Africa is a healing nation, and therefore when we say whatever that, or we do whatever that we're doing, we've got to make it a point that we don't leave South Africa divided.
Yes.
Let's build the country.
Amen.
How we do things as we differ, as we agree, if we're agreeing. It's like if I'm agreeing with Undlela, but it doesn't mean that I must not criticize Undlela. But how I criticize
Constructive.
Undlela,
Constructive,
it
yeah.
has to be constructive so that tomorrow he becomes a better person. That's what is the game about.
You're not only pretty on the eye, but you're so pretty on the mind.
Did you just flirt
Yeah,
with the minister?
I did a
Did
little
you
bit.
just flirt
I'm
with the
sorry.
minister?
Ah,
was an
Mr. Abrams
accident.
is going to kill somebody there.
I'm moving.
Bodyguards are locked out of the studio.
I am moving to Mexico officially. But, ma'am, thank you so much for joining us in studio. I had so much fun. I was really stressing, and we were sweating because you were saying
We were a little bit worried.
because you saw we were a little bit nuts. You know, we're crazy.
And
Why do
why?
you
I was
think
told
this
to
wall is
behave.
padded? This is padded for a reason.
Why?
Because
we bounce off it.
because an asylum they pad it, so we normally like jump and like do all kinds of things. But thank you so much for sharing your vision.
But can I ask,
Yes, please.
why do you sweat when you hear that ministers are coming?
No, it's not sweat.
We thought can I be honest?
We
Yeah.
crazy.
We thought you were uptight maybe, and like scary.
Why? What
Well,
gives you
you
that
think
idea?
ministers, you think serious people, serious
Because
jobs.
we only see them in parliament. or
We're
if they
part
send-
of the society, guys. We get elected by the same people, by you.
No, I know,
So
but
now I
feel
feel
comfortable.
Yeah,
People,
officially.
people will not vote for somebody who's uptight.
No, very true.
We've got to
Very
be cool
true.
like our president. Laugh
Aye.
at everything.
Aye.
That's how
I'm
we
just saying,
approach life.
Star, you better know this is what.
Eight-
Quarter
8:45.
to 9, 8:45.
That's
We
our new
want that
breakfast
for the
one.
breakfast show link, please.
Okay, I must say, guys, like I said, you should have grabbed a pen earlier. The provincial office is in East London for the Eastern Cape. You can contact them on 043 722 602. I'm going to repeat that. It's 043 722 602 or 609 at the end. So please, guys, make it a voice. This is what we do. This is why we are here. So do it. And as of and now that, announce it. It's all yours.
Well, you can also get us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle name is DOC hyphen. Oh, no, not hyphen, underscore. This person that was writing for me cannot differentiate. It's DOC underscore E-Cape, which is Eastern Cape, E-Cape.
Okay, cool.
That's it, you get us there. But also, if you want to report any criminal activity, you go to SA Police Service, at SA Police Service, and you make your announcement there. I see some crooks trying to rob us of what is due to us. And hey, act, Mr. Policeman.
That's the way it rolls there. You're gonna take a drive. McDonald's isn't far though, I must say. I like a sausage McMuffins. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there.
Dude,
I'm
did you
putting
just say you like sausage on radio?
it- sausage McMuffin?
Is that your kind of breakfast?
The minister just tuned me. Can you believe that? And I'm not even in parliament. I'm not even in parliament. And I'm gonna just put one thing.
I rest my suitcase, dude. You got owned.
I did get owned. I did, but I don't mind. She's beautiful, so it's fine. But.